Oh my. She look at the time. Looks like it's time for me to shed my thin veneer of fairness and compassion and instead embrace my true nature of joyful vindictiveness. I'm going to be honest, I haven't even started watching any of the Spring 2020 anime, and yet here I am, looking to the future, and telling it to fuck off. Can you blame me though? Seriously, what has the future ever done for me? So far, it's turned me into a nihilistic ball of stress and resentment, so why the hell should I be fair to it? An argument could be made that this video has little value. It can be pretty hard to predict what will actually stand out from season to season. However, an argument could also be made that you can eat shit and I can do what I want. Positivity and constructiveness, be damned. I'm going to shit all over the future because as far as I can tell, the future has it coming. So sit back, relax, and watch as I scream obscenities at Summer 2020 anime I have never seen. Yeah, some stuff got delayed, so there might be some repeats from my last go at this. Still, if I'm going to do this twice for anything, Re:Zero is as good a candidate as any. It's just so predictably bad. It's a series that is so clearly beyond saving that one could probably review it without watching a single episode. It's something that thus far cannot be defended by anyone with even a passing interest in reality, because it's so proudly flying the I am a video game isekai and I am ruining the modern anime industry flag. Giving Re:Zero shit kinda is therapeutic. Yeah, Re:Zero Season 2 is gonna be an absolute nightmare, full of misplaced melodrama, poor characterization, dumb sexual fantasies, and lazy conflict resolution. It's going to once again come around and make the world a slightly worse place than it was before, and it will be up to all of us to rise up and beat it to death with our bare fists. As violently as possible. Oregairu is a little bit less fun to shit on because I think it believes it's good. Punching Oregairu is like punching a 12-year-old. Yeah, it might be incredibly obnoxious, but it's not their fault. They just don't know any better. Still, this particular anime has been acting like a 12-year-old for like 7 years, and sometimes there really is nothing left to do but to beat the shit out of a child. Oregairu is a quintessential example of a writing team way too ambitious for their ability. They wanted to create a complex psychological drama, but instead they wrote a whole bunch of irritating teenagers, taking it in turn to badly roleplay Sigmund Freud. The writing in the show is painful. Every line is some snot-nosed 14-year-old giving their friends the world's stupidest psych eval, all the while smugly side-eyeing the camera as if to say, "Wow, isn't the writing staff clever?" You're not deep, Oregairu. Your characters completely fail to act like human beings at every possible opportunities. The questions you pose and the examples you set are so radically divorced from reality, they are impossible to learn from. Just stop. r/I am 14, and this is deep. I'm always surprised when I see SAO getting a new season. The show has been so regularly dragged through the coals by everyone with even a passing interest in anime that it's a genuine wonder that the entire creative team hasn't gone into hiding to avoid attempts at their life. However, if there ever was a series that deserved to get shit on more often than a single bathroom at a clinic for the chronically diuretic, it is SAO. The show is bad. It has always been bad, but somehow it managed to put in the elbow grease necessary to get continually worse. However, perhaps there's a place for that. There might be something comforting about SAO's horrific badness. It's kind of like the North Star if the North Star started loudly vomiting all over the rest of Ursa Minor. Perhaps not ideal, but it's nice to know that some things never change. Take a wild guess. I would refer you to that meme of the Walking Dead character screaming, "They can't keep getting away with this!" But that meme is pretty dead by now, so instead I'm going to spend the rest of the section screaming into an uncaring void. Ahem. Ah. Ah. What's with all the deeply unnecessary sequels? Seriously, stop. Fire Force Season 1 was bad. Shonen, it was deeply uninspired beyond the admittedly excellent action animation, but the fan service was so prevalent and so deeply creepy that it was kind of a deal breaker, even by anime standards. The show would completely interrupt the climax of every single arc to swivel back to a lingering shot of some half-dead high school girl who'd been physically and emotionally battered well past their breaking point so that it can give a graceful audience a medium close-up of their tits. Conveniently, of course, her clothes would be super torn up by this point, showing a lot of sin, because, of how someone had just physically dominated this literal child so that their sense of self-worth and agency had been completely shattered, leaving them helpless but to do anything but lie on the ground, dead-eyed and completely without hope. Seriously, fuck this anime. Don't watch this. The synopsis of this anime on Mal contains the following. An emotionally devastated loser, a shut-in, a dying grandmother, two main characters that are clearly going to be complete pains in the ass, and yet another we hate each other but we have to pretend we're lovers storyline. God, please deliver me from this cruel purgatory. I know why people make these. Nisekoi did super well and probably wasn't that expensive to make, and the setup leaves room for massive harems and 40 billion sequels. Still, I can't help but ask one simple question. Like, could you not? This will be an incredibly annoying anime. Now this is a title that deserves some truly vicious mockery. If I ever actually do a review of this, I'm going to have to think long and hard to make the most condescending, the most dismissive, and most outright insulting pseudonym I can possibly think up of. Anyway, this is a light novel adaptation starring an all-powerful demon lord going to high school for some reason, and we can look at the promotional art to see that said demon lord looks like a model at peak physical condition and appears to be hovering menacingly over two high school girls who are both clutching each other like they are seconds away from stripping down and fucking both each other and the audience, completely senseless. So yeah, bad self-insert light novel should be terrible. So like a certain subset of socially awkward preteens who think they're secret geniuses are gonna love this. So the principal female character's description consists of two adjectives, boisterous and well-endowed. So yeah, I think we all know what kind of anime this is going to be. When this ends up being very popular, I'm going to be so disappointed in all of you. This is the closest thing I have to hope for summer 2020. First, it's from a director I have been really interested in since he directed Death Parade. Second, the announcement trailer is really great. And third, that's it. But still, sure, the setting seems like the entire story. Sure, it's the kind of setting that's going to make some really good screenshots, but would probably make a really good D&D campaign. But in practice, will likely overwhelm the characters and the narrative and force the anime to spend valuable screen time explaining exactly how everything works, like every other second. Sure, I've never heard of Studio Nut, and the only thing they've ever done is that World War II isekai where the protagonists are the guys in the Nazi uniforms. Sure. Okay, we might be screwed. This will be the first thing I look at, but my expectations are actually pretty low. I'm really not sure about this whole web manga anime thing. Like, yeah, there are a lot of great web manga. I would kill to see, like, Kisswood animated. However, the quality control on web manga is even worse than regular manga, and there are a ton of really, really bad ones that still manage to get a lot of attention. I haven't read God of High School, but what I have heard has not given me a lot of hope. It could be fine, I don't really know. However, MAPPA does have its heart firmly in the right place, and I trust them to at least do their best to make this really good. So here's to hoping. I'll probably watch this. So this is our selection of potentially popular / interesting anime coming out in the summer. It's not looking great. I really hope Apart Ranman listeners and BNA turn out as interesting as I hope they're going to be, because summer ain't looking that great. This is an excellent time to cast your gaze backwards, back through the years, and maybe take a look at some old classics from before the time of the great isekaiing. It's, you know, a lot of people have a lot of time on their hands, and summer ain't really giving you much else to do.